Okay, group, welcome to TEJ 3M or TEJ 2M, depending on what section you are this Quadmester. But we are going to talk quickly about what this course is going to look like in this type of learning environment. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of unknowns, but I think we're going to be able to do this together and work through the course content. I just have to look at it in a different way. And I think once we all adjust our thinking on how we're going to learn together, we will be able to get through this and do this all successfully. So essentially, what we need to look at is how we're breaking down this course. So the three types of learning that we're going to do in this course are going to be your in-class days with your cohort. So that'll be here at Massey in room 164A. And then you're going to have days with your cohort where you're learning from home. And again, that will be asynchronous, meaning that you are going to be provided the work and you're going to work through that on D2L, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a little bit. And then that third learning model will be the weeks where you are learning for my period at home. We will be meeting every afternoon at 2 o'clock online, again on D2L, which we'll get into a little bit more. And we are going to meet live online each day that week in the afternoon. So those are the three ways we're going to learn together in this class. So the main group that I'm going to talk about first is the in-class learning. So those are the days, again, you're in my classroom at Massey, and we are learning together some of the more technical computer engineering or computer technology skills. So the first topics that we're going to cover are surrounding hardware and system setup, where we're going to look at desktop computers and laptop computers. What are the components? How do they work together? How do we make sure they work together safely? The next topic we're going to talk about is setting up that system. So which software and BIOS settings do we need to play with to get that system to work effectively? The next topic will be networking, where we'll look at what a network is, both wired and wireless technologies. And then we will learn how to set up and secure a network here at school. Another topic that we're going to get into is programming. So we're going to need to know how to give simple instructions to a computer, or in our case, when we get to it, either an Arduino or a microbit. So we're just going to do a quick introduction to programming. It's not a requirement, so if you have not programmed before, do not stress over that. It's just that we are going to give you the basics that you're going to need to be successful in this computer engineering course. Breadboarding is where we're going to actually deal with electronics and build circuits, both online during the online sessions, and we'll also build those here at school with the breadboarding kits that I have for you. The next topic we'll do is take basically a combination of the programming and the electronics in the breadboarding unit, and you're going to wire up and build different interfaces. And essentially what an interface is code controlling some electronics. So we're going to use two different microcontrollers depending on what course you're in. You're either going to use an Arduino or a microbit. Both of them can be programmed, and they will run code and control the electronics that you've wired up. And then the last few days in class, we will build some sort of final robotics project, or you'll do that individually with the different materials that you learned in the wiring interfacing unit. Some of the keys to success in this type of learning in this specific year is going to be attendance. So we only have 10 physical days together here at Massey, so you need to be here. I know that there'll be some unforeseen circumstances if you become ill or someone in your family becomes ill. Obviously, safety is number one. But if you are feeling well and you are able, being here is important. We're not going to be able to do a lot of these hands-on projects that you're going to do here. I can't give you different opportunities to do them at home. The keys to make sure that everyone's safe, we're going to follow the lab rules. Obviously, the lab rules will change slightly. The room setup is a little bit different. One of the key things for your safety and everyone else's safety around you will be when you arrive here at school and before you leave, you're going to need to sanitize your workstation. So we are sharing from cohort A and B on different days. So you'll be using your workstation on your own the day that you're here at school, but it's going to be important to sanitize your keyboard, mouse, chair, monitor, any of the buttons or touch surfaces on that computer. You're going to need to sanitize those. There will be built-in eating breaks for snacks, so you can bring snacks in to my classroom. We will have designated times for groups to eat in class so we can do it safely with mask removal, to make sure that we're staying safe. If you can avoid bringing sticky drinks or anything that would be messy for your workstation, that would be ideal. Water is okay. We will have to talk about whether coffee would be okay if you're a coffee drinker. But in general, I don't want any sugary, sticky drinks in the computer lab still. Your at-home learning days. So again, this is kind of going to be a new realm of learning. There's going to be 10 of those days per quadmester that you're working from home with your cohort. These days will focus on less technical skills because I won't have equipment for you, but they are going to be activities that you're going to do on D2L. Most of these days you would be able to do this on a tablet, but if you had access to a laptop, these at-home learning days would be easier to follow through. These days we'll be having different activities, videos, lessons surrounding topics that are in the curriculum that are less technical. So things like careers in computer engineering or computer technology, what type of post-secondary pathways are available to prepare you for those careers. We're also going to talk about computer software, open source software, ergonomics, so working safely. And again, we're going to need to follow what we learn to make sure that as we're working, spending lots of time on a computer at a time to work through this course, ergonomics is going to be an important thing. And especially a lot more people learning this way, we need to make sure we're following guidelines to make sure we're safe. The last few topics surround environmental impacts of technology and also some other negative impacts of technology on society. The at-home learning keys to success is self-regulation. You need to be able to be self-directed and work through these lessons. I'm not going to be there to remind you to stay on task. Everything will be laid out very clearly on D2L for what you're going to do on each of those days. You will be provided videos, lessons, activities to complete, visit different websites, answer questions, build a project. Those will all be very clearly laid out on D2L. If you haven't figured out how to use D2L, that's going to be another key to success. So on Edsby, I will post some videos to get you started on how to get you logged into D2L and find your courses. The key thing on these days is if you are running into problems, I won't be able to answer your questions immediately. But if you do send me a message through D2L, I should be able to respond and get back to you throughout the day when I'm not doing my online course in the afternoon. So during that day, the normal school hours in the morning, I will be available to respond to messages and keep you on track on those days if you're running into any issues. The other thing that I want to remind you of is it is still important to take breaks. It's hard to work diligently for this amount of time, especially on your own. So make sure you're working and then you're taking breaks, but really avoid distractions. So when you are working, make sure your phone and other distractions are put away so that you can stay on task and accomplish all the required content. And that's going to be the key balance at home because, again, you don't have necessarily a teacher or somebody to redirect you when you find some of those distractions. So you're really going to need to be motivated and get through that work on your own. But I will be available electronically, like I said. So if you do need to reach out, make sure you message me. The other type of learning, or that third mode, is going to be on the weeks where you are completely online. So there will be 20 days per Quadmester where you are meeting with me for a week at a time between 2 o'clock and 3:15 p.m. We are going to be doing our online lessons through the D2L virtual classroom. So I will have some videos to explain exactly how to get onto that virtual classroom and what that will look like. I will give instructions virtually live through the D2L virtual classroom each day. You will need a laptop on most of those days to complete the required work. So a lot of times I will teach you a skill virtually or show a video, and then you will go and build some sort of project or complete some sort of task, and then we will debrief and take up any questions you may have. Okay, there won't be specific software needs, but a laptop will make these things a lot easier to use because we will be using some web-based simulators to build some projects. But again, you won't need any specific software, just a laptop with an internet connection will be sufficient. If for some reason you won't have access to a laptop for those virtual days, you need to let me know and also contact the school if you do need to do a technology request ASAP so that they can get that laptop to you because it will be very important. Some of the keys to success during our online learning days will be participation. So it's a little bit different than in class where we will be, having conversations. But I will ask that everyone is participating actively throughout the lessons or throughout the activities. I will ask for feedback. I will post quizzes. I will post poll questions. I will ask you to bring your cursor to a certain part of the screen. There may be times where I will ask you to share what you've done. So I will ask you to share your screen if you're comfortable with that. There will be time to communicate via microphone to have some discussions. And if you are comfortable, there will be times where I ask you to join by video. That won't be all the time, but there will be opportunities if you are comfortable with joining by video that I think there'll be some face-to-face contact that will be important. Again, just like when you're working from home, if you're having any problems, you need to reach out. If you are online and there's something that you're trying to do in the task and you're having difficulty with it, I will be using the classroom chat each day, so you can get pretty immediate responses from me through text in that chat. So again, the key thing will be to familiarize ourselves with D2L so that everybody follows the same schedule. For my TEJ 2.0 students, so my first period TEJ 2.0, my grade 10 class, this is what your schedule will look like starting on Monday. So your class 1 will be in class for cohort A, and then cohort B, you will be learning from home that day. If you follow this schedule each day, you will know on D2L exactly what task you are working on, and you will know whether you're working from home or in class or you're in the online group that week. Everything will be posted on D2L for you to follow along. If you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out and let me know. If you're in my grade 11 class, then the first time that you're seeing me will be online. So this video will be posted for you, and you will be able to access D2L hopefully by the first day of class so that we can start working together and familiarizing ourselves with D2L and what this online learning will look like. So again, if you're in my grade 11 class, period 2, the first day I will be seeing you is Monday, September 14th, and we'll be meeting online. Instructions will be provided on EDSB as well as on D2L how to access the virtual classroom, because that's where we'll meet to begin our learning online during that first week. So hopefully everybody watch this video will have a better understanding of what this Quadmester will look like, and I'm really excited to learn with you this for the next few months in computer technology or computer engineering. So we'll chat soon. And again, if you're having any issues, please feel free to message me at this point on EDSB or through D2L. Thanks very much. See you soon.